falling in love, the idea of death, and penises. Hey guys, I just finished watching 1994 comedy horror Cemetery Man. This is also known as Of Death and Love, which actually is the title on IMDb. It is an Italian and English production. This is an Italian film technically. I guess the director is Italian and most of what people are speaking is Italian, but it also has some English actors, including the main character in this film, which is a strange film because you can see it in both ways. You can see it in Italian or you can see the English dub version. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be completely real with you guys, I could only find the English version for myself. A lot of you guys ask me where I see all these films. This is why it takes me forever to get the 31 days together, because I need to first get all your requests and then also find out where I can get them. And so a lot of them, you know, I source from DVD stores and stuff like that, but a lot of them are available to you guys on, you know, Amazon Prime and Netflix in whatever country you're in that aren't available to me. So your Amazon Prime actually has so many more options than I do. So if you're ever looking for a film, go look there first, because I've seen so many of these films are on Amazon Prime and I can't watch them. But for this one, I had a copy, but unfortunately it was just an English dubbed copy and I couldn't find the Italian version. Otherwise I would have watched it in that. I did go and do some research to see if people thought the Italian version is better. It's always my preference to watch things in the native language that it's being told in. Obviously the inflection, everything just works a lot better. Dubbed can be sticky situation and it doesn't do any justice for the film. But unfortunately that's all I had in this situation. But when I looked up research, other people said that the visuals are just overwhelming, and that's kind of what everyone loves about this film. And I can agree with that. This film is about a man who works in a cemetery man, or cemetery man, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. And he and his like friend, who's kind of like a little sidekick, they have to do something really interesting with the dead. After someone dies and is buried in the cemetery, I feel like I'm saying cemetery and cemetery. In the cemetery, in 7 days, they actually rise and come back almost like the living dead, you know, as a zombie technically, and they have to shoot them in the head to make sure that they're really dead. But the film goes much further than that. It actually is about falling in love, the idea of death, and penises. Like, I don't know if the translation was completely off with that, but that came out of nowhere and was very confusing to me. But it is a comedy horror, so the comedic aspect is a very particular type of comedy. It's very strange. This movie had some beautiful dialogue, even if it wasn't English, and the way it tied together was just like poetry, and I think that they did really well with that. But the comedy stuff was just so crazy about his, you know, manhood. And as I mentioned, that was super confusing to me. But the visuals of this film is what is gonna sell you. It is theatric, it is practical effects, it is blood, gore, spooky dooky, horror dream. That's really what it is. It's based in a cemetery and it's about love and death. It reminds me a lot of Beetlejuice, I guess, having the horror comedy aspect, but also being very dark and very sexual. It has a lot of sexual scenes. I don't think that they have any sex scenes actually in Beetlejuice, but it does remind me of Beetlejuice because Beetlejuice is really creepy and has a lot of sexual jokes. I think if you're into theatrical movies, just like Bram Stoker's Dracula, you will really like this film. It's obviously more geared towards comedy, but I really loved seeing a cemetery come to life, and that's what this film really does. It brings together all different kind of characters, alive and dead, and you know, really explores the idea of death and love and getting to love. I'm not going to spoil this aspect of the film, it's a big part of the film, but it definitely takes a turn to where it is just like a dream. You're not really sure what's reality and what's a dream, and it's very surrealist. So I was very confused by this and I was worried it was going to be like a translation thing. But once you get going with this and you let the idea take over, it really is a fun and interesting as hell ride. And saying it's a fun ride, it is a goofy film. It is goofy and cheesy and just all over the place, vomit, all that kind of stuff. That could definitely warn off a few of you, but if that sounds like something that you would enjoy, hanging out in a cemetery for an hour and 47 minutes or whatever, and watching these goofy characters come to life, check it out. Another cool fact about this film is apparently there was a bunch of American filmmakers who wanted to remake this film. I'm not sure when, but they said that they would only do so and they would fully fund it if Matt Dillon played the lead, and I am so down for that. I know a lot of people are like, you know, don't touch my film, don't remake it, but I think that this would work really well as a remake, and it would bring some new life to the film. I do understand why people go on about this film. I have heard a couple of you guys recommend it to me over the years, and I can completely understand now. It is goofy, it's fun, and it also has a beautiful, haunting idea and themes of love and death. And I think that the way that they approach the subject is really thoughtful, but yet comedic. So I guess it did exactly what it set out to do. I really liked all of the ideas that I took away from this film, especially the ending and especially the love idea, even if he was kind of wrong and he didn't make any sense. I really like the romance in the film and how I interpreted that. I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10. I think it's definitely worth it. I think that you guys will really like this film. It is out there, and it definitely brought some life back into 31 Days of Horror. We've been watching so many serious films, so it was nice to see something that was a little bit kooky. And yeah, if a kooky, spooky, goofy cemetery dream sounds like your type of thing, definitely check out The Cemetery Man, and try and find the Italian version and let me know what you think. If not, let me know if you've seen the English version. Let me know down below what your scores are if you've seen it a while back. It's from the 90s, so I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. I don't think it's too outdated at all. I think they did really well. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for another 31 Days of Horror. We're on the home stretch, guys. I don't know what that is. I've obviously lost my mind at this point. I love you guys so much. I hope you're doing well. If you don't know, I'm in America right now. I'm not actually here, I'm in America. So if you're watching this and you want to know what I'm up to, you can always follow me on Instagram, which is SPOOKYASTRONAUTS. Anyway, random plug, but I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for another 31 Days of Horror. Bye guys.